Welcome to the show. I want to give a quick apology for the technical difficulties. Plus, I tried a new landscape today. I did portrait rather instead of landscape. Shelly V, just as a reminder, which you'll find out soon, she is not a professional hairdresser, but still very relevant to our industry. And I thought this was really important to have her on, which is why I'm even more shooketh that I had such an issue with my laptop and had to switch over, so the quality's not that great. But I think you'll still enjoy it nonetheless. Okay, here's the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trendy with Kim Allison, where I sit down with some of the most inspiring voices in the beauty industry. I am thrilled, you guys. Not only is she a personal friend of mine, but I am thrilled today to have Michelle Barnes join me. Here's the reason why. Michelle is a passionate content creator who shared her personal journey, embracing her natural curls and documenting every step with incredible detail. With a background in business, being a mother of four, and building a brand around her iconic phrase, because we nosey, Michelle has created a space for honest conversations and real insights. We're going to dive into her journey, her candid take on hair care, and so much more. So let's get inspired, everybody. Michelle at Shelly V 24/7. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kim. I'm excited to be here with you.
I'm excited to have you. So, you are a first time guest who is not a professional. So, this is going to be such a fun and relatable interview, I feel. And we're going to dive into all the things, as I said. So, let's start with your background and your journey. Like, can you tell us about the moment you decided to ditch the chemicals and heat and
Mhm.
fully embrace your natural curls?
Exactly. Well, what's funny is I'm not wearing my natural curls today, right? But we're going to get into how it's kind of morphed from me not utilizing heat and kind of just changing up some of the things that I've done with my hair because it's truly been a journey, throughout this just whole this whole journey. I went natural in 2020 during COVID. I think a lot of people started embracing their natural hair during that time just because a lot of the salons had shut down and so on and so forth. And so they, like me, I couldn't go get my Brazilian blowout. So I started seeing my natural hair pattern come through, and I was curious about it, but what really catapulted me into becoming natural is I have a 14-year-old, and she was trying to embrace her natural hair, but she was struggling. And I kept telling her, "Oh my gosh, your curls are so beautiful. Wear your natural hair." And she looked at me and she was just like, Miss Ma'am, but you ain't wearing yours. Like, you're wearing your hair straight. So you know, I'm kind of wanting to mirror what I'm seeing through you. And that was really a wake up call for me. So I started doing research on how to go natural and not to convolute it, but I had been natural once before, but not really realizing I was natural, if that makes sense. I was just wearing my hair, not following any rules or anything like that. So, did my little research, or so I thought. And then one
Well,
day,
let me interject real quick because I got what you just said. Because as a stylist, I've said this on the show. I like to work with hair in its natural state.
mhm,
However, I don't like to style hair in its natural state,
yeah,
right? So that's a whole different skill set, is
whole
learning to
different.
wear your hair in a natural hairstyle that makes you feel beautiful, makes you feel like you have a finished look.
Yes. And that looks different for everybody. That's one of the big things that I've noticed within the natural hair community is that looks different for everyone, which has been really just interesting. Because some of the styles that I see, I personally would not feel comfortable wearing, but yet they look beautiful on someone else. So, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, there's just a lot of versatility within natural hair, which is really neat. But
So we know you started and what inspired you to just take on, because you have I as your hairstylist, not only your friend, your hairstylist, I know you have high density hair.
uh-huh,
So to take that on, a lot of people that have your background, being a biracial, woman,
uh-huh.
you typically hope that you're going to get more of that easier to style side of you versus you have to be so careful because our black community, we are highly sensitive when it comes to things that we can't control, like
Uh-huh.
skin color, hair texture,
Hmm.
you name it, right? Features, skin color, we go on and on, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
so
been crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately.
so you hope that, but while at the same time you get what you get. So for you, I say you have a very, from a professional perspective,
Uh-huh.
you have a very fine grade of very tight coily hair.
Yes.
So high density curly hair.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot. It's a lot
yes,
to
so to manage and control that, your hair tends to want to go wide versus, or what do you call it, horizontal more
uh
than it wants to go vertical,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so pulling out that stretch and manipulating and all of the things that you've had to do, and that, in my opinion, you've mastered. I give you all the flowers in the world because I know how detail oriented you are.
Yeah.
So at with all that you've been trying to do, and with all you had to do rather with your own hair,
Hmm.
what made you decide to share your personal journey with the world?
Well, I got to see firsthand how it impacted my youngest daughter in such a positive way. And then it not only trickled from her, but also to my youngest son, and then to my oldest son, and then to my oldest daughter. So it was kind of like this snowball effect of positivity of us all just starting to embrace our natural hair. And I felt like I had been so meticulous in how I was capturing everything. And I was so excited about how I had learned to handle and deal with my natural hair, because natural hair, in a sense, gets a bad rap for being hard to manage and being difficult. And it's really not, it's just knowing how to manage it. So I thought, well, if I share my journey, my very imperfect journey, with the world, perhaps I can encourage some individuals who are on the fence and are thinking about going natural, but they're afraid to go natural. And if there are individuals who are struggling, that perhaps just through what I've learned, that we could help each other, and it could be kind of an even exchange, and
Yes.
just a happy perfect world. But
No, I received that because I know you personally and I know how passionate you are and how you treat the people that you love, much less the people who are strangers. You meet no strangers, first of all, and you're so giving and so generous, just every part about you. So I know what goes behind you sharing your journey with the world. You've tracked Michelle or Shelly. What are we doing? Shelly?
so my government name is Michelle,
Ah,
but in the social media streets, they know me by Shelly or Shelly V. So that's what I
okay,
go
we're gonna go Shelly B then from here, and I'm
by.
gonna
I'm
try
good with
to get that cadence going where I don't default back to Michelle.
that. Okay.
But if I do, I do.
Okay.
So Shelly V, you've tracked your hair journey down to the tiniest detail.
I did.
How has that helped you, and what have you learned along the way by doing that?
It's helped me tremendously because during my journey, I've had some what I would call significant setbacks. And I don't think that I would have realized that the setbacks that I was having were not normal. Because, and I'm sure we'll get into it, at the time I was being told that this was my hair texture, that I just needed to accept what that was. And I had no problem accepting my hair texture for whatever it was. But my thing was, I was like, something just seems wrong and off. And so by meticulously tracking my hair journey, I was able to go back and say, wait a doggone minute. Something's wrong, and I'm not crazy. Something's amiss right now. And it helped me connect all the dots. And then it also helped what I began to share out publicly. It helped validate those concerns and issues. And come to find out, it wasn't just me.
It wasn't just you. No, that's as I could tell on your as a subscriber to your YouTube show at Shelly B.
Yes, it's the same thing. Shelly B 24/7.
So that leads into your challenges and some of the insights that you have about those challenges. You've been vocal about how the Black Girl Curl method. Did I get it right? Black Girl Curls method damaged your hair. So what was your experience like, Shelly B? And what advice would you give to others considering that method?
Okay, are y'all ready for this one?
Oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for it. Listen, all y'all, don't be coming for me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just asking the questions today.
Yeah, right.
I ain't trying to be dissected. Thank you very much.
For real, because it's been crazy. It's been like the wild, wild west. Well, so I, in kind of just going along my hair journey, I came across this group called Black Girl Curls. They were also connected to another company called Cut It Kinky. And Cut It Kinky, they did curly cuts, a method called curly cutting. It's where you cut the hair in its curly state. And they primarily focused on the professional side. Black Girl Curls focuses on the consumer side. And basically,
so are you saying these are two different groups, but are two different entities, but owned by the same person?
Yeah. So there's two women. One is named Aisha, and the other is Elise. Aisha, her primary focus was Black Girl Curls, that side of the business, and Elise's focus was Cut It Kinky. And so she taught the stylist. And then underneath all of that, they had a third business called See Some Curls. And See Some Curls was actually, or is actually, a rather neat concept. It's an online digital learning platform for individuals who want to go natural. And it basically is supposed to teach you how to embrace and love your curls, which it did do that for me. But it's also supposed to help teach you how to care for your curls and make them show up in their best way. Hence, See Some Curls. So,
okay, so that's awesome for both of them to come up with a concept that we all today, even professionals, recognize.
Yes,
some of those terms. I hadn't heard of the method part or the education platform, but definitely the curly cut. Actually, just like the whoever came up with the grades of hair, you know, of 4C, 3B, all of that. I mean, hey, can't blame them for trying, right? So go on.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So on the Black Girl Curl side of the business, they came up with this method. Well, they both collectively, they're both the creators of it. They came up with this method called the 30-day hair detox, also known as no oils and butters. And basically, in a nutshell, you were supposed to take out any products in your regimen that had any sort of oils or butters in the top 5 ingredients. You were also supposed to ditch deep conditioning, leave-ins, and you were also supposed to ditch any sort of oils or butters. Now, there's a little bit of controversy on what all that entails, but um, there are a lot of natural people within the natural hair community that really love their oils and butters, particularly raw oils and butters. And so this method was to help pull you back away from that and try and learn a different way. And their way was like, hey, it's simple. All you have to do is routinely cleanse your hair. So shampoo it, condition it, and then go straight into styling it with gels. And they were big on botanical based gels. And that all sounds great in theory because my understanding is in the natural hair community where a lot of us had gone wrong, and I was not included in that because I've always been a routine person who shampoos my hair. You taught me that from all our years of knowing each other. I know the importance of that, a healthy, clean scalp,
Yeah.
and all of that. But a lot of individuals don't necessarily do that. So long story short, it was to get individuals to cleanse their hair more frequently, routinely, and then just use a conditioner. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, the method is flawed in a big way because it's not just contained to like 30 days, a 30-day hair detox. It becomes a lifestyle. And quite frankly,
that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you because if you are removing something that your hair is conditioned to, right, as far as healthy hair is concerned, and you're taking away raw butters, oils, whatevers, I can't remember them all, even as an old stylist. What is the thought process behind that? Like, why do we, first, two parts. Why do we need those things? And how can we live without those things?
Great question. So the thought process behind what they were promoting was that water and oil do not mix. And so water is the most hydrating thing for the hair and the most moisturizing thing for the hair is what they said. And so they were like, as long as you're routinely washing your hair, you don't need the other things. And yes, that's true in a sense, but it's almost like I use the analogy of getting in the shower. Well, the water hydrates your skin, right? And it feels great. But as soon as you step out of the shower, if you don't put any lotion on to kind of hold that hydration in, I mean, you become Ashy Larry. I don't know if anybody knows who Ashy Larry is.
No, not him.
The thing about it is like anytime you have like super, super kinky, coily, curly hair, the more you strip it down, the better your curls start to look, the more defined your curls are. Now, aesthetically, that looks beautiful. But from a health standpoint, it may not be the healthiest thing for the hair.
Yeah, but when you strip a curl down, does it look defined?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. When you pull, so my understanding is, and I always say I'm not a.
So let me start. I walk in with dry hair.
Yeah.
I wash my hair, and I don't condition my hair.
You do condition it. So
I do condition my hair. Rinse the condition out.
And then you use, according to them, all you need at that point is a rinse out conditioner, work it through your hair really well, and then rinse it out and then go straight in with your gels.
That's where I wouldn't agree.
Me either, because trust me.
I mean, just in my head of doing hair, you've missed a step.
Yeah.
Because if you put a cream on, is it going to change the landscape of the curl? Yes, right? Because now it has a coating. And so it's no longer its raw natural self, which is a curl to start with. Whether whatever level of curl you have ZS, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
So if you go straight into just encapsulating that curl with the gel,
Uh-huh.
well, yes. Are you going to get definition? And especially when that gel dries, absolutely yes. However, I'm still missing the hydration part because I
Yes.
don't think conditioner rinse out alone is enough.
Come to find out, you're right. It wasn't enough. And we'll show receipts of why that's very true. But they were saying, so along with all of that, not to make it even more complex, but they had a curated list of products that they recommended that we use along this process. And so, you know me, if I buy into something, I'm a rule follower. I check all the boxes. I follow everything to a T that you've told me. So I was like the perfect student for this method for them. Like I did not cheat at all, right? And so the gels that they were saying we should use, they were filled with humectants. Well, some of them were the base gels, and so those were supposed to be the things that held the hydration in the hair. The issue with that, now that I have put it all together, is that there was no buffer between the gel and the hair, and that just wasn't good. And then the other, they would have you layer like anywhere from 2 to 4 products on your hair, and I was layering at least 3, and these products left my hair like stiff and just very hard. It was pretty, but I mean, I could poke your eye out if you know, right? You know, girl, don't come in for a hard hug because you might come out and need a patch. You know what I'm saying? Like just keeping it 100. And then they had us cure the hair under a hooded dryer. And for a lot of people who are natural, your hair is very thick. Even people who have very fine, low density hair, they were even sitting under the hooded dryer for extended periods of time. So now you're baking all of that in your hair. And if you add in the curly cuts, which, like I said, that was the other side of their business, those cuts, cutting the hair curly, what we found was, and they still argue the opposite of what I'm about to say, what we found was those cuts were beautiful for shape. But in terms of capturing all the split ends and really being able to maintenance the hair, I was left with a boatload of split ends, even though I was routinely getting curly cuts every 3 months. And those
Mm.
curly cuts range anywhere from $200 to $700.
Wait, wait. Let me readjust myself.
Yeah.
Did you just say $700?
Yes. Yes. So it was like a whole
I
business.
need to go. Anybody listening, if you paid $700, can you please just drop your, I mean, hit me up in the DMs. Hit me up, like message me. I would love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Go
Yeah.
on.
It was just so expensive, and it became like they created, it was very smart because they created a whole business around it, that it not only grabbed the consumer, but it encapsulated and like connected the tight curl specialist. So Cut It Kinky taught the tight curl specialist how to do curly cuts. Black Girl Curls taught the stylist how to implement the no oils and butters regimen. So then they were doing both things, and then they pulled the consumer in and had the consumer doing all of the
Let me
above.
let me just give flowers and props real quick to where props are due.
Uh-huh.
What did you say the young ladies' names were? Aisha,
Aisha and Elise.
Elite,
Elise.
Elise, and Aisha. Let
Yes.
me give you your flowers because, from a branding and marketing perspective, I mean,
Yes.
genius.
Oh yeah. And they constantly talked about how much money they were making, which they were, like it was a money making business. And then they created a directory and for all the stylists that had taken their courses. And the stylists, from my understanding, had to have their website a certain way so that they all fit into kind of like the branding of it.
I
And
mean, congratulations,
and they
honestly, on
and they
that.
charged
That's really amazing.
yeah, and they charged the stylist to be on their directory so that when a new consumer came along and was looking for a tight curl specialist, they could find one off of their directory. And of course, you'd want to be on that directory. And then they also had, like I was mentioning earlier, their online digital learning platform, See Some Curls. So they had it from the stylist to the consumer to the learning platform. They had it like solidified.
Wow, I love
Mhm.
that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So that you followed because it made sense. You're listening to two professionals.
Yes.
I don't know what their backgrounds are,
They're
but
both
from your
cosmetologists.
okay, so from your starting point,
Yeah.
you're embracing your curly hair journey,
Mhm.
inspiring all of those around you, your kids, right? And
Yep.
then you you come to me because you were trying to do it on your own. And I remember what you said to me. Hey, bestie. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Would you mind if I went to a curly hair specialist and I said, knowing who you are and
Yeah.
knowing that I am not a curly hair specialist, what did I say to you?
He said, absolutely. I totally get it. Cause that's outside of, you're like, I do curly hair, but I don't do curly hair like how they're clearly doing curly hair. So by all means, I support you. And I appreciated that. But I also wanted to be respectful enough to have that conversation with you because I think that that's important. And
And I appreciated that as well because stylists, we do come with ego and pride. And when you have a shift like that and you don't know the explanation, even though I use my mantra, I don't worry about who's not in my chair. I cater to the ones who are.
Mhm.
Especially when you know someone personally, of course you're going, especially she's an influencer, so you're going to see it online. Of course, it would sting a bit had you not prefaced that with me. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's what a real relationship does, and that's a respectful way to do it.
Yeah, and I, I wouldn't have done it any other way. I wish you would have told me no. I wish you would have said you ain't going nowhere. But
Oh,
um like I was bought and sold. I was trying to find um a better way, an easier way in a sense to take care of my hair because I was on YouTube and I was seeing, oh, you got to do this and you got to do that. And wash day was taking like a whole day. And
oh
sometimes,
wow.
yeah. And so the other genius part of the marketing around the Black Girl Curls thing was,
Mhm.
hey, we will take your wash day and take it from a day and we will make it wash hour. And
Oh,
so that's real appealing. And then all of a sudden you have this, real defined hair and everything. You're like, oh my gosh, I am living the life. I have found my holy grail.
yeah,
And
wash day to a wash hour. Are you joking? Of course, I'm on. I'm in.
yeah, and then you see these cuts that are done on curly hair, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. So I can have like this three-dimensional cut that every time I wash my hair, it kind of comes out the same. And I don't know.
How
So
long, Michelle, did it work for you? Because we're going to get into some of the challenges
yeah,
that resulted
yes,
from your year journey, because it was
yes.
about a year, I remember.
It was a
Uh,
little over a year, but yeah,
yeah, so like we say, you've been vocal. So I would say, your advice to someone who's considering doing this would be what, real quick, and then we'll jump into your
yeah,
journey.
yeah. I would just say do your homework. There are people out here who say that this particular method is wonderful, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals that have had their hair ruined from it. So do your homework, do your due diligence, and don't follow every trend that you see pop up. I didn't know it was.
Okay, so let's jump into her real quick, her journey. So beautifully illustrated, I should say.
Today marks 1 year that I realized my hair was severely damaged, and I am going to share with you exactly why. So, it's my belief that my hair got severely, and when I say severely, I mean severely damaged following the no oils and no butters hair care methodology, also known as the 30-day hair detox. This is also when I found out about curly cuts, so I started getting those as well, and I thought my shape was shaping. Overall, with both methods, I thought my hair looked beautiful and I didn't have any complaints. Matter of fact, I raved about both methods. However, fast forward, I started noticing some major issues with my hair. My texture had started to change, and I started to experience a ton of discoloration throughout my head of hair, but it wasn't uniform. It was just sprinkled throughout, and it was mainly in the areas where you would see the texture change, like what I'm pointing out in this video. It was just the most bizarre thing, and at first I couldn't figure it out, but I soon did. You see, I had been a curly girl in the early 2000s, so I knew how my hair had historically looked and behaved while wearing it curly. And this was just not it. Like, this was something so foreign to me, and I had never experienced anything like it. For example, this is how my hair used to look when I would silk press it. You can see the shine and the health of it versus what it became like after following that particular method. And the challenging part is that my hair still looked really pretty, even though it had become increasingly difficult to detangle and style due to the texture changes and all the things that I had going on. My curls still looked really good once I would finally get them set, which made it even more challenging to try and explain to people that I had severely damaged hair. Okay, so what did I do to fix it? I started getting my hair cut primarily on blown out hair. And then I also added back in deep conditioners, leave-ins, and products that were high in butters and oils in the first 5 ingredients. My hair started to drastically improve. I started to see the shine come back. It started to feel more hydrated and moisturized and all the things. However, I could still see the flicky bits, meaning the split ends that had run rampant throughout my head of hair. And ultimately, your girl just had to big chop. So here I currently am with my big chop. I'm leaning into it. I'm making the best out of, not such a great situation. So when life deals you lemons, you make lemonade, boo. And you can see the shine has returned to my hair. Even in its curly state, my hair just looks juicy. The curls look completely different. And it's a whole new situation. So if you nosy, like I know you is, then continue to follow your girl. And until next time, bye.
Wow.
Woo, that's hard to
I
watch.
mean, look at those ends. Look at that.
It's awful. And that hair is a result of getting routine, expensive curly cuts. Matter of fact, my last curly cut that I ever got, I flew to Sacramento. That's how invested I was. I flew to Sacramento to a new tight curl specialist, and had my hair cut. And the reason why I flew and switched specialists, because I originally started with blown out hair, is because she wanted to cut my hair on blown out hair, you know? And I was just like, oh no, that's against the rules. So anyways, and this was after using the very expensive products that were recommended, and all of that is just
Wow. So you and your big chop, what thoughts, how long into, I guess we can say it was a year in that you realized this, right?
yes.
Then from there, so let's pull up some of your before. So I
Yes.
remember this.
Yes. So that was right outside your salon, actually.
Yeah.
And my hair was amazing. It was healthy from root to tip. And I mean, it's not like I'm someone who's not had the experience of long, healthy hair. I know what that looks like and feels like. And
Yeah. So you go from not that to this, but if we flip through some of the slides, this
yes,
was a year after, so you ended up with this,
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day. And this was during,
Yes.
right?
So my hair was very damaged here. And this
I
was,
mean, any untrained eye would say, even a trained eye would look at this and say, yeah, but the shape is shaping. It looks beautiful,
yes.
But I know you examining every hair under a
Mhm,
microscope and what
mhm.
you saw, which is you saw more this.
Yes. So what I've learned, and one of the things that I've shared within the natural hair community, is that curly hair hides sins, especially the tighter, kinky, coily it is. You really can't see everything, and then especially with when it's encased in gels and mousses and foams and all that kind of good stuff, you can't really see the health of the hair, and that's why when I talk about curly cuts, yes, they're beautiful for shape, but to say that you can truly assess the health of one's hair, I
Mhm.
think that there's a flaw in that thought process because you clearly can't. Because all of this stuff, these hairs that you're seeing on the screen, they
Yeah.
were riding rampant throughout my hair, but yet my hair, while curly, looked healthy. Um,
Yeah.
I will say this, that when I started the method, my hair looked amazing. It felt great and all of that. But within like 2 to 3 months of utilizing the method, I started to notice my texture of my hair was changing and that something just wasn't right, but I just didn't know what it was.
Let's take them through that journey real quick here.
Okay. Difference from when I was following the no oils and butters method, the 30-day hair detox versus now, because just wait, because oh my gosh. So in this video, I'm sharing with you my 3-day-old wash and go, and I'm just letting you see how beautiful she is and how soft and flexible the curls are. And just, you can see how juicy and shiny it is. It's just a whole different head of hair, a whole different experience from just the front to the back. I mean, I just honestly can't get over how different my hair is and how much it's changed since I've changed everything. Meaning, now I no longer follow the black girl curls, no oils and butters method. Matter of fact, I do the complete opposite. I use a lot of products that are rich in butters and oils. Because here's another clip of when I was following that method. You can see how day and night different my hair looks then versus now. And oh my gosh. So if you nosy, which I know you is, make sure you continue to follow your girl. And until next time, bye.
Oh my days.
It's crazy because when
I mean, day night difference.
yeah, it's so crazy. And the craziest part about it is that I didn't realize it was such a
Yeah.
slow train wreck that I didn't realize I was about to get into a wreck, you know? The perfect storm. The method and the curly cuts combined, it was like the perfect storm. And it's what's really wild about it is that when I wear my hair curly, which I wear my hair curly predominantly, the most of the time I wear it predominantly curly. I look at my hair and I'm like, is this really my hair now? Because I almost have hair dysmorphia because I'm like, oh my gosh, because I got so used to that I'm
Yeah.
like, this is like a whole
So
different.
let me tell our audience real quick. What are you doing now? Like, what are you? We know what you did. We know how you got there. We know
Yeah.
what you needed to do to get out of that. So, what are you doing now as far as those core ingredients are concerned?
So nothing has changed for me in terms of routinely shampooing my hair. I do that once or twice a week. And then I also, use a rinse out conditioner, and I'll explain why I still use a rinse out conditioner, even though I'm using a deep conditioner because that kind of sounds counterintuitive. Like, why would you need a rinse out if you're using a deep? But so I cleanse my hair. I once a month will use a bond builder because even though there's no science around it, I feel that curly hair with all the twists and turns, the keratin bonds and stuff like that, the protein bonds within the hair strand get, oh, my computer did something wonky. They kind of get compromised and broken down and all the manipulation. So I use that to help help with the integrity and health of my hair within the strands. And then I will also use a rinse out conditioner that has silicone in it because I feel like that really helps not only condition, but it helps protect my hair. It softens my hair. It helps it with any heat that I'm putting in my hair, whether it be from a diffuser or a hooded dryer or what have you. And I even feel kind of like the sun in a sense, just environmental factors. And then lastly, I use leave-ins under, I don't care if I'm wearing my hair blown out or curly, I'm using a leave-in. And then I've started to add oil back into my hair as kind of like a sealant.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, just to help hold the hydration in my hair until I cleanse it the next time. And
Oh,
it's
I like that.
simple. It's
Yeah,
really
that,
simple.
and this is a perfect segue into telling you guys about the best product that nobody knows about or using, which is Virtue. Now, I will say Virtue Professional Products, they are the only product line that have a human derivative of keratin in every single product. Now, the ratio is different. So it depends on what the product is, but their latest product, damage reverse serum, that can truly take a broken end, split end, and mend it back together up to 98% proven facts, is like gold in a bottle. And so I don't care what else you're doing with whatever, because I don't think there's one product line. Just like there's no one makeup line, there's no one anything, right? You always are going to have an apothecary of a lot of things that make up your favorite list of products to use. But that one in particular, if you look inside of a hair strand, it has about 80% keratin.
Mhm.
So most of that keratin gets lost through, as you said, environment, wear, tear, heat, whatever color, whatever we do.
Mhm.
So Virtue, and especially if you use what I call the magic dust, is called Color Kick, and it's the KU60, which is the technology of the human derivative keratin in its purest form. If you pour that in your deep conditioner and your whatever, your shampoo, put it wherever you want in your color formula. If you're still doing relaxers, put it in your relaxer formula. It does not change the consistency or the strength of any one product that you're using. It will feed your hair, plug those keratin molecules that get lost back in as you are damaging your hair.
Oh, wow.
So, and when I tell you, it really does do it. It works. I use it on my clients, the ones who have purchased it, and they use it twice a week in their hair as I advise them to. Their hair is thriving. Now, if I were an actual content creator that was any good at it, I could show you some before and afters. But unlike Shelly B, I don't track nothing, y'all. Like not a dang gone thing. So, but I wanted to say that. I always have to say that because nobody, even stylists that I interview, they're like, oh no, I've never heard of Virtue. I'm like, how? How? It's so good. And again, as an entire line, I'm not saying use it from head to toe if you have your other favorite products, but if you do nothing else, that damage reverse serum. And I'll put my affiliate link too in the bottom. So y'all better buy it from me or I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad.
Well, maybe you can start. I mean, I know you used it on me yesterday, but maybe we can do the whole thing.
Yes.
And I will track the results for you.
Oh, I know you will. You know what? Perfect. I'm going to feed it to you. I'm going to give you Virtue products to use on your show. That is the deal. You got it.
I totally will do
1,000,
that.
and you ain't paying a penny because I need everybody to know this. This is amazing.
Yay! I'm excited.
Okay, you guys, I want to show you what Michelle has been able to just master, the mastery behind all of her hard work and research. And what she did, honestly, didn't just help. It didn't just help her. It's also helped a full-on community of people. So I know, Michelle, you are not licensed, and I know I am pretty sure you've gotten some pushback from those who are. So I want to preface this next question with this short video just to show them and remind the audience of your journey thus far.
This will be quick. So I just want to share what my hair looked like before I changed my regimen. As you guys know, it got extremely damaged, blah, 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 blah. But look, this is where we are now. Oh my goodness. I don't have any current pictures of it straight, but this was the last time I had it straight. You can totally see the difference. And this is what it looked like curly before versus now. So if you nosy, like I know you is, continue to follow your girl. And until next time, bye.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Amazing. So, like I said, how do you respond to criticism from professionals about not being licensed, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's been kind of challenging because just really quickly, I want to say this, that I did reach out to the individuals, the creators of both these methods, and started asking questions along with a fellow content creator by the name of Rosie Amelia. She's actually the person who even like the whistleblower, so to speak. She got it going, and we got ignored. Like we literally got ignored, and they started blocking us when we started asking questions and saying we were having issues. So I didn't want to take on that, hairdresser type role, that cosmetologist type role, because like I always say to my followers, child, I ain't got licensed the first. But what I do have is the ability to research. My Google game is strong, and
you guys, she ain't no dummy either. She has an MBA and she thrives. She's raised a doctor. Her son's getting ready to graduate law school, and the next two, I'm sure, have something great in store for us. So amazing mom. This comes as no surprise that you can master hair having not had a license. You don't need one, child.
Well, thank you.
That picture I just showed, the health and shine, that was all you.
Well, thank you. Well, I have so much respect and admiration for stylists. That's another reason why I feel like I kind of fell victim to these methodologies that they are still heavily promoting, because they are two professionals within the hair space, and they throw that in your face.
Do you know how long? Not that it matters. Not that it matters, because this show is for the next generation of hair, which I feel, the hair industry needs old, new, the middle. They need everybody, right, to keep it strong. Yes. So I'm very careful when I say things like how much experience does one have, because that doesn't necessarily mean you're not out the gate a superstar.
Right.
Every now and then you get a LeBron and a Kobe that come into the game blowing the Jordans of the world out of the water, right? And so, well, not Jordan. That is Anywho, you know what I mean.
I do.
So I don't want to, say, well, but how long have they been in the industry?
But so the stylist that focuses on the cut it kinky side, so she focuses on the professional side of the business, which, by the way, they have since split. They split when all of this started happening, they decided to split. I don't know what all that was about, but I
But you
think
know what? And again, let me say this too, real quick. The show ain't about them, it's
yeah,
about you. And
yes,
so, you learn from two stylists,
yes,
despite what they're doing. That's
yes,
their journey.
yes.
How much experience did those two stylists have?
Yeah, so the first one, I think she had 15 or 20 years experience.
Okay. All
And then
right.
the other one, she's been doing hair. She was a blogger turned stylist. And I think she went to cosmetology school in 2017. Um,
Oh, so she's a newer stylist.
Fairly new, yeah. And what,
That is the one that put me in her blog, is it?
no, this was
Oh,
a,
that's another one. Okay, we
but
won't even get into all that. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
well, it's been so
For,
great.
for relevancy
Yeah,
to
it's,
this conversation,
yes.
I thought it would be interesting to know how long they have been in the profession before they created this community.
Well, what's interesting about that whole thing is that since myself and Rosie, and then there's a professional natural hairstylist by the name of Narada, but he goes by African Hair God. He has been instrumental in helping us share and spread our experiences, because had it not been for him using his platform, no one would really know, because everyone was just ignoring, well, I wouldn't say they were ignoring us, but anyways, he was the one through his platform who was able to
Is
really,
he a natural hair specialist
he
as a
is
professional? Oh, perfect. I
out,
love that. So that gives it some validity.
yeah, he's out of Atlanta. And when he heard our story, he was like, wait, hold up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He reached out to us and started asking questions. And then through him sharing it, people started coming to him because they were concerned about their hair, who had followed that method and who had gotten curly cuts. And so he started seeing it in his chair firsthand. And he was like, oh my gosh, these individuals' heads of hair are ruined. Well, since we've been going through all of this and connecting the dots, it's almost like insulting but yet flattering. The very creators of the method, specifically Aisha from Black Girl Curls, um, everything that I have talked about and Rosie has talked about and Narada has talked about online, they have started to also implement those same things like leave-ins and bond builders and deep conditioning treatments and all those things, but have not given credit to us who have struggled through trying to figure out what was wrong with our hair and how to fix it. They've just like jokingly, started to pivot in a slick, kind of sly way. But you know what? As long as changes are being made, that's what's important, because I just don't want to see anyone else go through this, because it's been very emotional and challenging. So to circle back to your question, what do I say to people who say, well, you're not a hairdresser? It takes a village. I don't think I have to be a hairdresser to help others. I No one knows my hair better than me.
That's
And
right.
because of that, I was able to troubleshoot for myself. And I've actually thought about getting a license just to have it. But at
I'm
the end of the
surprised
day,
you haven't.
yeah, at the end of the day, when I need that part rubbed and massaged, I come to you and I go to Narada, for questions that I have. And that's enough. And I think if the stylist and the consumer can really come together and collectively work together in a respectful and a cohesive manner,
Yeah.
then we all don't need to go to cosmetology school.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. And I know that if you wanted to, you could easily go to cosmetology school and get a license. But honestly, if you don't plan on doing other people's hair, there is no point in wasting all of that money just to um,
Yeah.
just to have a seat at the table. I mean, what table? Your product is yourself.
I clipped the episode here because it needed two parts. We had so much more to discuss. In part 2 of this episode, Shelly V, she'll talk about social media and brand deals, also how professional hairdressers can better serve the curly hair community. And lastly, she talks to anyone just starting their natural hair journey. Now enjoy her 60-second blowout. Back to the episode, and I'll see you in part 2.
Now I have something fun for you.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
All of that. Now we have fun. I am a game girl, as you know. Me and game go hand in hand. So I have this part of the show called 60-second blowout, and I'm going to give you a rapid fire for 1 minute. And so far, well, I take that back. No one's ever made it through all the questions except my guest on Monday. So we'll see how you do.
I get nervous under fire, so I'm probably going to sound like an idiot, but
whatever. What are games for?
Yeah.
Isn't that who they're for? Idiots? I guess I love being an idiot.
Okay. Well, I'm about to
let's do this. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you can only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Apples.
What's your weirdest mom superpower?
Being able to know what my kids are doing before they do it.
Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
Yes.
If your hair had a theme song, what would it be?
The Sasha Fierce one. I don't know, the Beyonce one.
Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
20 minutes early.
If you could switch lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Kim, my fiance.
What's the funniest thing one of your kids has ever said?
Are you going to really wear those leggings because your butt looks big?
Which would you choose? Always wearing socks or never wearing socks again?
Always wearing socks.
What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you while filming?
I burped.
Ah! Hey, you did good. That was great. Now, to see how humble you are.
Oh, gosh.
This is a test.
Okay.
Make your silliest selfie face.
My silliest selfie face? Let me see.
Oh, that's silly. You did that.
I don't know what that looked like, but I felt it in my soul. I felt it deep down.
I had a feeling that wasn't going to be hard for you at all. So thanks again, Shelly B, for coming on. I will definitely be having you on again in the future. Have the best day, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Be blessed, everyone. Bye.
Bye.